So award season is over, and Lovecraft Country has came to an end. Its time has passed. It has done everything that it's needed to do. But turns out some people ain't done with her. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Crow coming in with news, books, rants, movies, and more. All the above. Shout out to Yashu's Playground. Shout out to Carrie, my editor. And let's just dive into this mess. So, I have received a link on Tumblr. And it's an interesting link that I received. If it's no stranger, or you guys don't have known me for a minute, you know I'm no stranger to telling the truth and telling it how it is. Now, I am not a Misha fan at any point. She just does work to me that's not really good, in my opinion. It's not really good. It's mediocre and subpar to me. It really is. It's subpar to me. I mean, minus Lovecraft Country and the brilliance of Ruby and Christina, it's very subpar to me. But this little article that I had encountered was actually interesting. It is from a site called Uproxx, and the headline that it had given was, a new book alleges that Lovecraft Country was canceled because showrunner Misha created a toxic work environment. Wow. Now, you know me. Of course you know me. You think I'm gonna be like, oh, that's what the fucking bitch get. I knew it. And yes, I am gonna say, yes, I did know it. That she was that way. I mean, freaking Ray Charles can see that she was that goddamn way. Okay? Stevie Wonder could see that she was kind of toxic. But I don't want to say her levels of toxicity are like damn near Chernobyl kind of toxicity, but for damn sure, there are some goddamn issues. Okay? And I will be addressing that. But if you must know, the book is called, excuse me, sorry to say, had to pull it up. The book is called Tinderbox, HBO's Ruthless Pursuit of New Frontiers. And it's by a guy named James Andrew Miller. Now, mind you, James Andrew Miller is white. Okay. And while I am not super inclined to believe white males, because they are, no offense to some of them, if you're cool, you cool. They're literally trying to ruin this country, and everything it stands for, because, you know, the ball is not in their court anymore. And yes, while I do agree that when black women in this country face adversity and we open our mouth to speak up about it, we are often called as hostile, ghetto, tricks, baby mamas, etc., 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 etc. Along with the stereotype that every black woman is mean, or, well, we don't want to piss her off because she a black woman. Sadly, in my opinion, I don't think that's the case for Misha. No, I don't. I don't think that's the case for her. And before some of y'all hoteps, woteps, fake ass woke Negroes come talking about, no, she's not talking, get off of her clit, please, and open your eyes to reality. Now, mind you, I've watched Lovecraft Country more times than I can bear. It is literally playing in the background right now. And it's obviously going to my favorite parts, Ruby and Christina, but I am watching the whole thing for a more clear analysis about everything. That too, and fuck it. Now, mind you, like I said, that may not be her greatest work, but I do respect her for bringing my favorite ship into this world, Ruby and Christina. The rest of it is just garbage, pretty much, that I'm kind of fast forward through, but it's whatever. Now, I would like to say I'm conflicted about Uproxx's little post, because it is a small post and it doesn't leave much to the imagination on who the names are that said that this woman was toxic. But I seriously don't care because I do believe it. And the reason, like I say, why I believe it is after watching the interviews before the show when it premiered, after the show when it premiered, I'm sorry to say, when Misha answered certain questions, she sounded downright arrogant. I mean, I remember the last interview that they had. It was the last interview that they had for Lovecraft Country. And, this was before award season, of course. And it was an interesting interview that was just pretty much centered around Misha. And mind you, she is the showrunner. It's what she does. It's how she does it. And it's always been what she does, how she does it, when she needs to do it. And while actors and actresses and people are just people when they do their roles, whether they're side actresses or not side actresses, it doesn't matter. There still should be no kind of room for certain people to be arrogant or downright rude. Now, I'm not gonna say everything was fucked up, but I do believe her making a comment that was just like kind of rude and ignorant, and I was just like, oh my god, this girl is ignorant. I mean, if you got it, you got it, but be humble, okay? So I could kind of tell that kind of element with her was around. And I'm not really putting this really really as gently as I can, because I don't care to put it as gently as I can, because I've always been what it is. I'm just pretty much done with it because award season is over, and why should I care at the end of the day? But there's that kind of situation. It's the little things, of course, and it's often too, in my mind, from what I've seen, there's always been a team A versus team B sort of thing. I mean, you can see it in the photos, the kind of distance, and it's like one of those things between the cast members of, do we fuck with each other or nah? It's always been that kind of distant thing, whereas of course with Game of Thrones, everybody was like family. Now mind you, Game of Thrones lasted for 8 years, 8 to 10 years, while Lovecraft Country only did 1 year and 1 stint without getting renewed for a season. So when you really just think about it, at the end of the day, of course they're not going to get that same familiar, like, kind of family bond, but being a black woman, black folks just kind of click together. You don't really need that much time when it comes to us. But this was very awkward, because while I say there's team A and team B, you have, of course, Journey, Jonathan, Michael K. Williams, rest in peace. You have what is his name, Tracee Ellis Ross. You had those kind of guys. You had Anjanae. You've had Miss Chung. You've had, it's like you have the A team. That's their A team. But then on the other side, you have the B team. Abby Lee, Jordan, another Jamie, the lady who played Dell. Jordan, of course, played William. You have Wumi. So it felt like that was team B. And you could tell kind of with the pictures, because none of them ever really take a whole picture together with casting. There's only like one casting picture with Ruby and like Journey together, and she's in a car. The rest, there's no more pictures of them or anything, but there's tons of pictures of Jonathan Majors. So in the thing about Abby Lee's character and Wumi's character, they're so vital. She's supposed to be the big bad, and Wumi is supposed to be the sister that dotes over her younger sister, and always cleaning up her goddamn messes. Of course, William and Jamie are kind of like extras, even though they play some really tremendous roles, and they have an incredible range. And I felt like Team B, of course, being Wumi, Abby Lee, they had much better acting range than Team A. I mean, if you think that Team A has a better acting range, then you smoking crack, because I cannot get over the fact that like Jonathan Majors keeps making that snagapus kind of look all throughout the, Lovecraft Country. Like, damn, dude, don't you have any other look? Show some damn expression and something. It's just like he's scratching up like he didn't smell somebody taking a dump or something. It's so weird. But I can see that kind of toxic environment behind the scenes from my eyes. Now, another reason why I would think it's toxic too at a certain situation, there are people who came out and said, well, I worked a stunt double for Atticus, and Misha was kind, she was courteous, she was this, she was that. First and damn all, you're a stunt double for the inner circle that she chose to deal with. Okay, which consists, like I said, of Journey, Jonathan Majors, Michael K. Williams. That's the inner circle that she chose to deal with. So, of course, you're going to say that she was kind to you because that's her inner circle that she's fucking with right now. Seriously, that's her inner circle. So, of course, they're going to say that she was kind to them. But then that's not all the way a major case for other staff and other members and other people and other actresses within that curriculum. Okay, not to mention probably the studio of HBO probably thought that Misha was hostile or whatever the case may be. Now, mind you, HBO is still doing a show with her, so that is a cancel off to where I think that she is toxic in that respect, because why would they work with her if she was so toxic? So I don't believe HBO is at fault in that regard. But where I do say that the toxicity or the hostility or hostile work environment may come from, and I'm going to say this: favoritism. Now, I know some of y'all niggas is like, no, it can't be that. Blah, 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 blah. She worked with Journey and she was so toxic. Why does she work with Journey? First of damn all, that's favoritism of an actor. That's monopolization of an actor. And don't tell me it's monopolization. It's not monopolization. She worked on the Black Canary movie with her. She worked on Underground. She worked on Lovecraft Country. She's doing another Black Canary movie. And of course, it's Journey. Of course, Journey has become and taken on the role of Black Canary. But that's not the point. The point of it is, when you monopolize so much of a actor's time, it can become toxic to other actors, side characters or main characters or co-characters. It can become toxic to them. Period. It can become toxic. It can create a work environment that's hostile. Because I'm going to be quite honest. Journey can't act. She's overexpressive. All I just saw was just eyes and all the above. It wasn't good acting. It was mediocre at best. It was B-rated at best. Like, B at best. It wasn't top tier A like acting as like if it was like Wumi or Abby Lee. Sorry to say, yeah, they were better actresses. They fucking felt their roles. I'm sorry. Shoot, I just want you to feel what I feel. You can't hit that. Come on, man. You can't hit no higher than that throughout the whole goddamn series. They set the bar and Journey just was grasping at it barely and still jumping and that's just my opinion. But the point I'm trying to make of it is, now while Hollywood has had their favorites, the Jennifer Anistons, the Angelina Jolie's, it's where you just in the media just see so many things like, damn, why won't Angelina Jolie or Jennifer Aniston just go away? Remember back in the day we used to just always see those people every single role? The difference between Journey and Misha versus other people like Jennifer Aniston and other showrunners and writers and directors that they've been around is that Jennifer Aniston and all these other women and top stars from back in the day and currently now, they weren't monopolized by one showrunner or one director. They go to different directors. They may go to Michael Bay one minute. They may go to Steven Spielberg for another role. They're not monopolized by one director. They're not. And They just do their project, move on, go to bigger heights, go to bigger things that their agent may think is better, or a role that they may think that is better, or vice versa. Misha just applies Journey in all her work. And I'm sorry to say, Journey's not a fit in every single goddamn project that she's doing. So when you have this thing where you're showing favoritism on set to a person, yes, I said favoritism on set, that can put other actresses and other people in a bind. That isn't good. There's that happens too. Okay? So for y'all sitting there saying, oh, Journey, that's not a fucking excuse. That's just some bullshit that y'all created. Period. You're not trying to look at the bigger picture or the inner picture. You're just looking at a narrow-eyed view because you're a mega fan. And I don't mind people who are mega fans of the show to a certain extent, because you're not as annoying as Game of Thrones fans, thank God. I was like, but still, at a certain extent, you gotta kind of realize and open your mind to a little bit of logic here. Okay? Because when you think about it, it's true. Really, if you read the book of Lovecraft Country, it's Ruby that saves the day. It's Ruby that saves the day. Not Letty. Not Journey's character. But that character had been switched around so it can be a journey about Letty, aka Journey. So when you think about it, you've revised the whole script and sewn up a whole script for that prospect. And it's very not so good, if you want my opinion. Very not so good, if you just seriously want my opinion. And it can create a toxic environment. And if I had to be quite honest, another add-in to why I think it was a toxic environment, and I agree surprisingly with this white pasty saltine sailor, believe it or not, I really do. No offense to white people that do watch this, I'm talking about him because he's kind of cringy. He screams all lives matter to me. When you look up a picture of James Andrew Miller, he does scream kind of like but if he, whenever we read the book, if there's somebody there. But another reason why I say it was a toxic work environment, and I hate to bring this up because I've already done a whole video of it, believe it or not. I've already done a whole video of it. It's not really that kind of thing, but I've already done a whole video of it. The colorism situation. The colorism situation. That was a toxic work environment. That was a toxic thing. That was a toxic thing done by makeup. Something that Misha should have oversaw. Or the manager over that should have oversaw that. And then the manager over that should have reported to Misha. That was toxic. And I seem to recall when I kept watching that video about that girl's testament, of course. I seem to recall her. I just seem to recall her at a certain point saying that when she sat in between, of course, the actor who plays Uncle George and Journey, she said hi, and they didn't even say nothing to her back. They didn't say shit to her. They just looked and did that as they were painting this girl darker and darker and darker past her skin tone. And don't even sit over there and tell me, oh, it's because she got a bag. Bullshit. She was looking on her phone the majority of the time as they were painting her this color. I didn't watch the whole excuse 18 times, 18 times now, which is cool, which is really a lot of time to watch that. Okay? And when we really, when we really just think about it, that is a toxic and it is a hostile environment. Now, mind you, the actors didn't have to say anything to her, but they could have made her feel comfortable. They just made her feel like, oh, you're in this minuscule role. But she said again between two big stars that she probably looked up to or admired. It didn't feel very welcoming, according to one of her testimonies. And that shit went viral too. So some of y'all can sit here and deny it, decline it, fangirl over Misha, bury that kind of dirty little past under that that happened and isolate that as a single incident. But that is a point towards toxicity. Okay, everything from the favoritism of journey to that colorism situation, as well as the interviews as well. Some of the interviews, not all the interviews, but some of the interviews, it's something going on, because it's something going on. It really is. It's something going on. It's something that I thought has gone on for a long time ago. I just chose never to say too much about it. And just because she comments one time on, oh, you're doing good or this and that, doesn't mean that she fucking like requires it, or doesn't mean that it's a requirement for her to be honest, or that her saying those supposed kind words on Twitter is a requirement that she's kind and she's on good terms with her actresses, actors, or staff. Doesn't seem that way, does it? The thing of it is, I think what a lot of it is there was a toxic environment. And the only reason why people don't stick out or stick up on it is because we live in a very fragile democracy right now that has been dictated by race. And it has been dictated by a certain situation. Because let's say if Wumi or Abby Lee spoke about the toxicity. Let's just say if they did, assuming that they are the victims of it. What if they spoke out about it? What if Abby Lee, especially being a white woman who is from Australia, which Australia does have its own racist issues that they need to deal with as well, with Aboriginal people and black people as well too. But what if she spoke out and said that Misha Green was toxic? It would be, obviously, sorry to say, a black versus white thing. It really would be. Y'all would grill her, even if it was true that she was toxic towards her. If she came out to say that, y'all would be trying to cancel her, because cancel culture is real. Okay, what if Wumi said it? Oh, she's a coon. It would be interpreted that she's not a coon, but it would be interpreted that she's a coon, or she don't love black people enough. She don't love black people enough to support their bullshit. Come on now. It's damn if you do, damn if you don't. Hell, I've even been accused of it because I have criticisms about this show, which I don't give a damn, because I'm still blackity black at the end of the day. And I'm calling coons out as far as I can see them. But it's just some food for thought about the situation. I don't believe it's a smear campaign from HBO, because like I said, why would they hire her for the next Black Canary movie? Oh yeah, and there's another project that she was writing too with Misha, that had Journey in it. Misha was writing something with cars and shit, and women working on cars, and Journey was supposed to be the lead, like some bootleg ass Fast and Furious. Like I said, Misha's not that really talented. I'm sorry. I mean, everything from that bootleg ass Winter White Zombies Walking Dead script for season 2, all the way to her bootleg imaginings of Fast and Furious with Journey 2.0, that crappy script. She's not talented. It's just borrowed ideas from other movies that she's seen, that she's just gonna, like, in my opinion, twist to make a really pro-black agenda, and not even a really clear or positive or decent black agenda. Yeah. And I don't even want to get into the colorism shit, because y'all can look at that on my other video, okay, about how I feel about her in a colorism situation. So that's why I think that Updocs is possibly correct on maybe their assumption, or their proof or not assumption, that she could be toxic. You know, it's really unfortunate, pretty much, that it is that way. And I think the Hollywood Reporter that supposedly reported it, I think I may know who it is. I'm not saying I do for a fact, but I have a really interesting idea of the person who possibly did that, because looking up the video that I wanted to link down below for one of the interviews, and it was at the ending of the series and them getting nominated. It turns out that I cannot find that video. He's a bald-headed guy. He was interviewing. It was pretty much all of them. Jonathan Majors wasn't there, of course. Abby Lee was in there, white suit. Of course, Wumi was in there as well. Journey, and then Misha, and she was a little bit toxic on that shit and arrogant and thinking that she was gonna win all them awards. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep this as like mature as possible without cracking up. But I think it may have possibly been him. I'm not gonna say it is, but my bet is he probably might be the inside source, and it could be somebody else from the staffing crew. So I mean, I'm not saying by that this old this James Miller's book with this Tinderbox shit, but I am gonna say if you can download it illegally without giving his ass no money, and you can tell me what it is, who said what said what, and who said it, let me know. But even if you don't get who said what or what said what, it must be somebody up higher up the food chain that doesn't want to lose their job, because like I said, we do live in a very racially political sensitive climate, and if it is a person who's white, it's going to always be seen or looked at as racist. And while I understand some cases and a lot of cases are like that, like I said, I don't think this is the case for her. I think she was toxic. I think she had an element. I think she had her little team A, her little favorites that she fucked with, and she didn't really support her team B or any of her team B and all the above. You can tell it was that way in the art, because art does imitate life. It does. And when art imitates life, it imitates the good, the bad, the ugly, and the toxic, and sometimes the hostile too. So that's just my opinion as a black woman. I'm probably sure I hit the nose on the head, because I've been right about almost everything about this show so far, from its failings to its triumphs to whatever the hell it is. I've been right about it almost always so far. I want to say I give myself an 85% of me being right about this show. So yeah, so like I said, comment, like, subscribe. Shout out to my editor Carrie. Shout out to Yashu's Playground. Also to you guys, check out my book Wolves of Winter. It is on Amazon, Kindle only. I will be doing hard copy printouts soon. If you're into lesbian werewolves, interracial couples, yes, this is the book for you. This is my first book, so you know, it is what it is. Help a sister out, you know, don't be a hater, help a sister out. I'm gonna be probably coming up with my other book series, of course. This one's with vampires, Fangs of Fall, so look out for that as well too. But give it a read. Like I said, it's a little bit of a long book, it is, but it's worth it, of course. And obviously there'll be a book 2, of course, so you know, just look it out. Wolves of Winter, AK Neil. Just look for me, let me know, see what it is. It's in the link below. But thank you guys, goodbye.